Okay, I'm Geoff Bingemann. I've been involved with Torchbearers at the time that I was in business at Boans, and in particular involved with Torchbearers between the 1970s and the 1980s. Introduced to the activities through Frank Boan, who was the original founder in 1953, and he got the activity of myself and others, Rupert Boan and other younger men, to come in and take some of the responsibility of raising this money for Torchbearers. Torchbearers was a very well accepted and very well respected organisation at that time because of its function of helping Legacy, which was such a strong organisation in post-war years, both pre-war and post-war in the 1940s and 50s. And they had trouble, obviously, in raising the money as well as doing the work. And I think Frank Boan said, well, I can't do the work, but I can help raise the money because of his close association with leading Perth businessmen in those days. So when we came in, the younger set, it was quite different. We did have a very good association with business people in Perth. They respected Legacy and therefore were generous in their foundation. I remember trying to get it to the 100,000 and thinking what a mark that is. And when that was achieved, we also got into other commercial areas, one of which was significant. When we took over the lease of the top floor of the government building at the entrance to Kings Park and turned it into a cafe and a coffee. It wasn't a coffee house, it was a cafe. And in those days, there wasn't a lot of that around. And so we had that for 7 days a week. And that was the first time that we got this commercial funding to a situation where it was bringing money into Torchbearers on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis. There was other great things that were happening for Torchbearers in the recognition. For example, in all the Boan stores, the tobacco department, the cigarette counter, had all the lottery tickets on it. And the more they could expand it, all the money, all the commission that Boans got from selling lottery tickets for all of those years went directly to Torchbearers. It was another source of funds that was there month after month and sort of helped Legacy with their planning there. There was a very good bunch of guys that came into the committee. We used to meet up there at Boans in those days, and we had the state Torchbearers for Legacy office in Boans, and the secretary and his accountant and assistants were there. So the business was involved with Boans, but also involved with all the other major businesses in Perth, where we got a lot of generosity, and it was well known and well supported. So those days were good fun. It was the 70s and the 80s. There was a number of chaps like myself who were not at the age that we were in World War II, and therefore or the Korean War, and therefore we had the opportunity of partaking in some of the activity that was needed in a large city like Perth, and the country areas which had a Torchbearers office. Bunbury, Albany, Geraldton, Kalgoorlie, all very active, and we had the opportunity of sharing that, which I think was actually quite rewarding. We weren't returned soldiers. We're the next generation, and someone turns around and says, well, what about giving us a hand? And as I recall it, all the people that cooperated in that enjoyed it, and we did well. And then as Boans was sold and I moved on to other business, so did my activities and interests. So, I'm a torchbearer of past years, not of the present, but it's always been a great part of my career and my business interest. It's been very good. Thank you.